What's one thing that all great artists do? Obviously there's a few things that decide what makes an artist great. Amazing talent being one of them, having a great team behind you, having a great strategy. Clearly all these things matter. But I want to highlight one thing specifically in this video, and it's something that we come across quite a lot with emerging self-releasing artists and debut artists, and that is what we see missing is the amount of art that they are creating. To be a great artist, you need to create a lot of art, lots and lots, and then creating more on top of that, and then more going forwards. A big mistake that we see from emerging self-releasing artists is that they feel that they deserve to move up to the next level. They've got one or two songs and they feel really proud of them, and they want to put them out and really heavily promote them, and they think that's what's going to get them moving. But the reality is there's not enough material being created, and what they do have isn't strong enough yet. Now usually these problems are caused by the same issue, which is there's not enough music being created in total and developed, and that results in a lack of depth and quality and quantity. And it's not just about time spent practicing either. You actually need to create lots of material to become a great artist, and by creating lots of material you become a better artist. These things are connected. Often I find that independent self-releasing artists can be over-focused on a couple of the tracks, or maybe even a little bit overconfident, and if I was to ask them to send me some more music, so that sounds great, send us some more, then there isn't the depth there. There may be another couple of tracks that they're not that happy about, or perhaps a few sketches, and sometimes it's quite hard to even get your head around what type of music it is that they think they want to make. We're asked for advice on releasing just one song sometimes. Don't do that, by the way. As an emerging artist, you really need to release a series of singles if you're going to build an audience. But many debut and emerging artists seem intent on trying to promote and market sometimes just one or two songs, and they're going to spend money on like making videos and PR, and they're going to start pitching themselves out to industry and putting all this effort in, and most of the time this is going to be wasted. The strongest type of emerging artists that we see are the ones that have loads of tracks, almost too many, and you can hear that they've tried all sorts of different styles, and they've tried different song structures and various sonics and different types of arrangements, and you can hear that they're evolving their sound as they're going through a journey of progression. They might not have fully found their voice yet, but that's okay. You can hear the potential. It then takes some time for us to listen to it all, and then we can say, hey, I think those songs over there, they sound really good, or those ones not so much. I really like the arrangements you got here. In fact, you should do some more on the piano because that really works well with your voice. Or the sonic you're developing in these tracks, that sounds really great. Those ones not so much. But you need the output. You need the quantity of tracks to be able to do this and to develop yourself over time, so that you've got some depth, so that the ones that you can choose from are the quality. The public won't see any of this. All they're going to see are the set of final released tracks that will all work together as a coherent body of work that will help build the artist's brand and help them build a fan base. It's a bit like the old analogy of an iceberg, where the bit that you see sticking out the water, just the tip of the iceberg, underneath the water is the huge bulk of what the iceberg really is. And that's very much what it's like. So in musical terms, this big part that never gets seen, that's where all the experimentation comes into it, all the bravery, all the hard work, the sheer number of songs, the trying new things, working with other people, the practice, the more practice, the rewriting, writing another song. That's where that all happens. It involves failure as well. It's a good position to be in where you have 20 to 30 decent demos just so that you can whittle them down to your final 5 or 6 for an EP release. I assure you, there are so many song demos that I think were great that never got released. I can't tell you how many song demos that I've got that are just sitting sadly ignored and forgotten about on my hard drive, and I'm sure so do the labels, and I'm sure SoundCloud servers are filled with them as well. Songs that were not quite right. Some of them are probably terrible, but loads that just weren't quite good enough to make it to where the artist wanted it to be for whatever body of work they're putting out, or they didn't fit with whatever it is they're putting out. It takes time to develop and lots of effort. Artists that you see who are successful, they've done this development. You just don't get to see that. What you see are the released tracks. But all that effort has gone in beforehand. Even artists that get signed to major labels, often they can be held back for a year or two while they're developing behind the scenes different demos, trying different things, working with different producers, maybe having different co-writers involved. It takes time until they're ready to put the whole marketing machine behind it and really go for it, and then finally you see a handful of tracks come out. There's been a lot of work that goes on behind that. Now, you might not have this at your disposal. If you're a self-releasing independent artist trying to emerge and grow something for yourself, but you can replicate that work ethic and all that effort and that focused attention on just creating and improving your artistry. That's what it's about. When you come to release your music, you should have a whole bunch of songs and demos that don't get used. Some of them will be terrible. Some of them will be good, but just not quite good enough. And a few of them will be brilliant. And those are the ones that you're going to release. It's not possible to make the best tracks in the world without making a few terrible ones along the way and loads of near misses. It's just not possible. And that's the one thing that all great artists seem to do. So do you have the drive to do this? How much do you want to be a great artist? That's what you've got to ask yourself. It's only once you've got the music right that then you can start getting stuck into the marketing and promotion. You're then in a really good position to start pitching yourself and building a fan base because you've got the depth, the quality and the quantity of music that you need to start building something sustainable. So put down those couple of songs that you were just about to think that you were going to spend loads of money on making a video for and spending on PR and all the effort you're going to put into marketing them, and go and create loads more music and just keep creating and don't stop. Because that's how you're going to be a great artist. It's not that the marketing and the promotion isn't vital to your success, because it is, but the music has to come first.